Now we're going to do absolute max and absolute min on an interval, but within a word problem. So a speaker company has a total profit in dollars for manufacturing and selling X units of their Model A loudspeaker systems is given by this P of X, and we want to figure out how many units of a loudspeaker system they must produce to maximize their profits. So what's important is I'm trying to find an absolute max because I'm on an interval here. So my absolute max, I can find it by taking the derivative, setting it equal to 0, and finding my critical numbers, and then just comparing it to these endpoints. Because the least they can produce is 0 speakers, and the most that they're able to produce is 20,000. So let's do that here. So I'm going to take the derivative, p prime of x, which is going to be negative 0.04x plus 300. I'm going to set that equal to 0. And I'm going to solve for x by subtracting 300. Negative 0.04x equals negative 300. And then I'm going to divide by that negative 0.04. So the x value that I get when I plug in is 7,500. There's my critical number. That's the relative max or relative min, and I'll be able to figure out if it's the absolute max or min by comparing it to these real life parameters, because most companies can't just produce 50,000 things just because it's what's best for their profit. So we want to keep that in mind here. So P of 0, we want to compare our endpoints. 0 is the least amount, and they're at most capable of producing 20,000. So we're not going to tell them to produce a number outside of what they're able to. And our critical number isn't outside. 7,500 is between these two values, so I do have to test it. So if we plug in P of 0, plug into the function here, if they sell 0 things, their profit is negative 200,000. They're going to be out money if they produce a bunch of things and none of them end up selling. If I plug in 7,500 into the original, I get 925,000. And then plugging in their highest x value into the function, P of 20,000 is negative 2,200,000. So that just means their cost is outweighing the revenue that they're going to get from those 20,000. It's going to cost way too much money. So the absolute max in my conclusion is they should produce 7,500 loudspeakers for a maximum profits. There's my absolute max profit. So we're talking about P here, it's profit of $925,000. So we solved it. Same steps as before, take the derivative, set it equal to 0, compare it to your endpoints, and the only additional component here is interpreting your answers.